Good morning everyone, welcome to Madeira. You're imitating like a gimbal, you're being the gimbal, and yeah. This is a very unfriendly reminder of just how unfit I am right now. Alright then, good morning and welcome to a very tranquil, calm episode of 10 Metre Walks. I'm in Madeira, which is a Portuguese island off the coast of Africa, Morocco, around that kind of height. I'm going to just put in some of the shots of Madeira now, just because it's just so epic. So check this out. For the last 9 days I've been driving around the island, looking at the sights, doing some walks, but also just spending some time in this place where I am now, called Casas Valparaiso, and it's in the Camacho town in the Santa Cruz region of Madeira. And basically the houses down there are nestled in a sort of botanical garden which they've done themselves, and there's some plants from Madeira, there's plants from other parts of the world, but it is so nice. I will now just put in a little juicy cinematic of some of the wonderful sights in that garden that I saw in the morning when the dew was up and the sun was shining through, and it was really special. So check out this little video now. Oh, kestrel. Whee! Let's do a 10-metre walk right now. What things can we expect? Well, fantastic bird life. There are rats and there are mice, and there are all the domesticated farm animals, but other than that there's basically no mammals on the island. I've seen with my own eyes the kestrel and the buzzards dealing with those rats. Pretty grim. But yes, so we might see some good bird life. Madeiran chaffinch, gold crests and the Madeiran firecrest. European robin, blackbird, bee-eaters, hoopoes, rollers. We've got the buzzards, there's buzzards nesting in the tree. We've also got the kestrel. Plant life again, Madeira, it's phenomenal, but I'm not a good enough botanist to tell you what is what. The one thing I can be sure of is on Madeira there are so many ferns and mosses and bryophytes. There are lizards, kind of common lizards, and mosses, lichens. That's a sign of very good air quality, which is good. So I'm breathing a lot while I'm here. Breathing is good. Oh, and there's some local peacocks. Absolutely daft animals. I just gotta begin, you know? Like, it's about 5 metres behind me and there's a rock up there. Enough of that. Let's start the blooming stopwatch. Get closer. Begin. Off we go. Okay, we're going. Today, I think I'm gonna very shoddily and quickly tell you how I do some of it, and I'm going to use up my precious time. You see we're on 10 minutes already. One of the things that I do straight away when I start one of these 10-metre walks is get some general sweeping shots. This is a 25mm prime lens. Smash it onto super slow motion and just like do some nice panning tracking shots. You don't have to move fast at all and you're still going to get a nice effect. Is I'll fix my legs like this and then I just sort of rock on them. So I rock backwards and forwards on my knees. My feet are staying planted on the floor. This feels like I'm doing an aerobics class in the middle of the garden. Why not? You can do lots of different very smooth motions with your body, like side to side, down and up, and basically you're imitating like a gimbal. It means you don't have to bring a massive slider to the field. The dew is going to be drying up pretty quick and the dew gives some lovely bokeh. I think I've probably already missed it, but what I'll do is I'll look for an area like down there where there's lots of shining happening on the leaves, and I know that if I have a subject in the foreground and I have all of that mottled shining behind, dappled effect, that's going to come out as bokeh. So you know, if you want to get some pretties, I'll put that 1.9 or 1.7 f-stop or whatever it is really wide open, film something in the foreground, then you've got all that dappled stuff behind to produce a lovely bokeh. I'll see if I can do some of that now actually. You can do the opposite, so you can have the bokeh in the foreground, shoot through stuff, and then have the subject in the background. Just to let you know, I found a juicy little bit of dew still remaining, if you can see that there. So I've taken it off the tripod, and I'm just going to sit the camera on the floor here, and there you go. You see it right there, that's the bokeh. And if we focus close, you get the bokeh behind, and if you focus in the distance, you get the bokeh in the front. So it's really up to you, or you can focus roll. High frame rate, nice prime lens, easy peasy, B-roll. I'm about halfway through and I've really not got a huge amount, but the telephoto actually in these circumstances is very powerful. Obviously I can shoot anything around the 10 meters with this, and this goes pretty fast. So I've seen the buzzard flying around up there, could get a few shots of that. And generally when I'm walking around looking for wildlife, I will have the telephoto on as standard, just in case something comes in and I don't have to change lenses, because that's always when you miss it. Just 12 minutes left. Unfortunately, I've completely failed to get any wildlife, any bird life. I can see them. They just are so hard to film. Well, like ever, that was extremely difficult. The birds just weren't having it. I saw a firecrest, I saw a gold crest, both flew off. Couldn't get them. They love the holly trees, like this big thick one behind me here. It's so dark in there and they can go right in the middle of them. It's just impossible. You have to really have a lot of time and get them when they're sitting on the end of a branch. I've got a little bit of footage of them actually from elsewhere in the trip, I think. There were some lizards, but there's one right there. They're not really doing very much. They just kind of sit still. I should have probably focused more on the small stuff this time, but I didn't. I better go and pack up now and get ready to go back to Bristol. To the cold. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Maybe I'll start a TikTok. Goodbye. Well, here we are. Look at that. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to sit and have a spot of lunch, and then I'm going to continue up to the Inferno hike, and I'll be back down in a second.